Imagine if you have to choose between a deep bond with a dream friend who have helped you through tough times and someone real who is starting a family with you. What would you do and how would you handle the emotion tied with both relationships? Let me know your thoughts in the comment section. This story all started with a boy named Kwame. Kwame struggled in school and often felt lonely. He didn't have many friends and find it hard to make connection. Each day felt heavy, like carrying a big rock on his back. But everything changed one night when he went to bed feeling sad. In his dream, he met a girl named Aisha. Aisha was kind and understanding, and Kwame felt happy talking to her. They quickly became friends. Every night after that, Kwame looked forward to dreaming about Aisha. When he faced problems in his life, like bad grades or feeling lonely, he would fall back and seek her advice. Aisha always had the right word to help him, making his worry feel lighter. Their relationship grew stronger and Kwame felt like he could face anything with her by his side. As weeks passed, Kwame's life started to change with Aisha's guidance. He studied harder and began to understand his lesson better. He no longer felt scared of failing. Whenever he was upset or confused, he would tell Aisha in his dream, and she would offer solutions that made sense. Kwame felt a warmth in his heart, knowing he had a friend who believed in him. His classmates noticed his improvement too. Kwame became more confident and even made few friends. They enjoyed playing soccer and laughing together. But Kwame always knew his strongest bond was with Aisha in his dream. She was his secret helper and the one who also had his back. As Kwame grew older, he entered high school. It was a bigger challenge and he sometimes felt overwhelmed. But every night he would rush to sleep, eager to meet Aisha. They would talk about his fear and she would help him navigate school life. Kwame shared his dream of becoming a very successful man, and Aisha encouraged him to believe in himself. With her support, Kwame started to shine. He joined clubs and even became the captain of a soccer team. His teachers praised him and he felt proud. Yet, despite all the success, he always returned to his dream where Aisha awaits him. She was his comfort and the one who made everything easier. After graduating from college, Kwame found a job at a very big company. It was a good start, but he wanted something more. Kwame often stayed late to help customers, hoping to impress his boss. When he felt uncertain about his performance, he would go to sleep looking for Aisha's wisdom. One night, he shared his worry about wanting a promotion. Aisha smiled and told him, "Be patient and work hard. Show kindness to your customers and colleagues." Kwame took her advice to heart, working even harder. Soon, his effort paid off when he was offered a promotion. As Kwame settled into his new job, he met a lovely girl named Zara. She was smart, funny, and made Kwame's heart race. They became friends and Kwame felt himself falling in love. But he felt guilty about the dreams with Aisha. He knew he had to make a choice. One night, he gathered his courage and spoke to Aisha in his dream. "Aisha," he said softly, "I'm in love with Zara and I think it's time to say goodbye." Aisha's face fell as Kwame could see how sad she was. "I understand," she replied, her voice trembling. But I would miss you. Ukwam felt a mix of relief and guilt, unsure if he had made the right choice. After Ukwam told Aisha he wanted to end their dream meetings, everything changed. He tried to focus on Zara, but he felt a strange emptiness. Meanwhile, Aisha grew angry in the dream world. She felt betrayed and started to haunt Ukwam's dream. Instead of comforting him, she began to torment him, reminding him of the bond they once shared. Ukwam woke up with a cold sweat, feeling Aisha's presence in his dream like a dark cloud. His peaceful night turned into nightmare, filling with Aisha's hurtful words. Ukwam tried to ignore her, but the more he avoided her, the more she seemed to invade his thoughts. Ukwam's life became a mix of happiness with Zara and fear of Aisha's nightly visits. At work, he struggled to concentrate, haunted by the vision of Aisha's disappointment. She whispered reminder of her past and how she had always been there for him. Zara noticed that Ukwam seemed distant, and she tried to cheer him up, but nothing worked. One night, Ukwam faced Aisha in his dream. "Why are you doing this?" he asked, his voice shaking. Aisha looked hurt, her eyes filled with tears. "You chose her over me," she replied. Ukwam felt guilt washed over him, but he also knew he had to move on. "I am sorry, but I need to live my life," he said, his heart heavy. Days turned into weeks as Ukwam's nightmare only grew worse. Aisha's anger twisted his dream into terrifying scenarios, making him doubt his choices. Zara continued to comfort him, but Ukwam felt like he was losing himself. One evening, he decided to confront Aisha again in his dream. "I never wanted to hurt you," Ukwam said, standing firm. "But I love Zara and I need to find my happiness." Aisha's eye filled with tears. "You've always been special to me, Ukwam," she replied, her voice trembling. "But I don't want to let you go. I also want you to be happy as well." Ukwam's life began to feel like a balancing act. During the day, he focused on his relationship with Zara, trying to enjoy every moment. At night, however, Aisha's presence was like a shadow he couldn't shake off. He sought peace and tried to forget about her, but Aisha wouldn't let him forget. One night, he decided to visit Aisha, his voice trembling. "I want you to be happy, but I need to move on. If you were real, maybe things would have been different. But you are not." Aisha's eye filled with tears as she listened. "Please don't leave me, Ukwam," she begged, her voice breaking. "I have always been there for you." Ukwam felt torn, but he knew he had to let her go. "I am sorry, Aisha, but I need to live my life." As he spoke those words, the dream began to fade. Ukwam woke up feeling lighter, thinking everything would finally be okay. For a few months, he felt free than ever. But then, trouble began to creep back into his life. Without Aisha's guidance, Ukwam struggled. His job became difficult and he faced problems everywhere. It seems like bad luck followed him. He lost a big scale at work and had conflicts with his colleagues. Life felt very hard and Ukwam started to worry that he may have made a very big mistake by saying goodbye to Aisha. One day at work, Ukwam decided to hire a new secretary. As he interviewed candidates, a girl walked in looking familiar. Her name was Leila. She had the same presence as Aisha, though her face was different and her voice was new. Ukwam felt a strange connection. How does she know so much about me? As days passed, Leila seemed to know everything about Ukwam, his likes, dislikes, and even his dream. At first, he was amazed, but soon that amazement turned into fear. Layla began to torment him, whispering cruel reminder of the past mistakes. "You can't escape me, Kwame," she said. Her voice echoed in his mind. Ikwe's life spiraled out of control. He fought with Zara and their relationship grew strained. Layla's presence haunted him, making it impossible for him to find peace. One night, in a fit of desperation, Ukwem confronted Layla. "Why are you doing this?" he shouted. She smiled darkly. "You choose to forget me, but I am not gone. I will always be here." Feeling trapped and terrified, Ukwem realized he couldn't escape the consequences of his choices. Aisha's absence felt a void that Layla filled with torment. With his life falling apart, Ukwem understood that he had to face the truth. In a moment of courage, he declared, "I will not let you control my life." With this word, he finally took a stand. The shadows in his heart began to lift, revealing the strength he didn't know he had. The battle was far from over, but Ikwem knew he had to fight for his happiness, for Zara, and for the future he wanted. Ikwem knew he had to talk to Zara about everything, so they sat together one evening. The room was quiet except from the soft sound of the wind outside. Ukwem took a deep breath and began. "Zara, there is something I need to tell you. Before we met, I had a girlfriend in my dream. Her name was Aisha. She helped me through tough time, but I realized that I had to let her go." Zara listened and her eyes was wide open and surprised. "You had a girlfriend in your dream?" she asked, very shocked. "Yes," Ikwem replied, "but it was complicated. She felt real to me, and now, after saying goodbye, I have been haunted by someone who looked like her. It's been hard for me too, especially now." Zara's expression changed as she placed her hand on her stomach. "I am pregnant, Ukwem. We need to focus on our baby, but I can't believe this is happening." Ukwem felt a wave of worry washed all over him. They both knew they had to find a solution to this trouble that had crept back to their life. Feeling desperate, Ukwem and Zara decided to visit a spiritual man in the neighboring village. They had heard stories about his wisdom and hoped he could help them. When they arrived, the man welcomed them and listened carefully to their trouble. "Your bond with this girl in your dream is strong," he said, stroking his long beard. "Breaking it won't be easy." Ikwem and Zara exchanged worried glances. "What should we do?" Zara asked, her voice trembling. The spiritual man looked serious. "To free yourself, you must go to the middle of a river and offer something very special to you. Something that represents your bond with this girl. The only way you can walk to the middle of the river is if you want to drop something very special as a sacrifice to the water." Ukwem nodded, feeling a mix of fear and determination. "I will do it," he said, firmly. The next morning, Ukwem and Zara prepared for the journey to the river. He packed a small bag with food and water, knowing it would be a long journey. Ukwem felt a knot in his stomach. What would he choose to sacrifice? He thought about all Aisha had done for him in his dream. It has to be something meaningful. As they walked, Zara spoke softly. "Whatever you decide, I'm with you. We will face this together." Ukwem smiled at her support, but couldn't shake off the fear. When they reached the river, it looked beautiful and calm. Sunlight danced on the water, but Ukwem felt heaviness in his heart. Standing at the riverbank, Ukwem closed his eye and thought hard about Aisha and what she meant to him. What can I give up, he wondered. Finally, he remembered a necklace his grandmother had given him. A necklace that symbolized his dreams and growth. It felt like the right choice. With Zara by his side, Kwame carefully removed the necklace and held it tightly. "This represents all the good Aisha did for me," he said, feeling emotional. He steps into the water. The coolness washes over him and slowly walks into the center of the river. But as he entered the river, Aisha appeared to him, trying to distract him so he won't remember what he wanted to do. "Kwame," she said, her voice haunting, "do you remember all the times we shared together? I love you and we can be happy again." Kwame got lost in a glance. Feeling overwhelmed, he felt himself drowning. Aisha knew he was trying to get rid of her, so she wanted to take his life first. Zara watched from the shore, noticed Kwame struggling. "Kwame, stay with me," she shouted, her voice breaking through the fog in his mind. It was a voice that helped him regain focus. But Aisha, seeing that her plan was failing, shouted, "If I can't have you, no one else will." Once Kwame reached the middle of the river, he took a deep breath and held the necklace high. "I offer this necklace to the river and to the spirits of Aisha," he said clearly. "Thank you for your help, but it is time for me to move on." As he let go of the necklace, he floated gently away, appearing in the sunlight. With all his strength, Kwame fought against the water. He was terrified, but he knew he had to break free. He turned to Zara, who stood on the banks, her eyes filled with hope and worried. "You can do this, Kwame," she encouraged. After leaving the river, Kwame felt different. It was as if part of him had been free. He returned home with Zara, who could see the change in him. "You seem lighter," she said, her eyes sparkling. "I think it worked," Kwame nodded, feeling optimistic. Over the next few days, they prepared for the arrival of their baby. Kwame focused on his job, and their home was filled with laughter and love. Even though he always remembered Aisha, he felt ready to embrace his life with Zara. Together, they dreamed about their future as parents. As the weeks passed, Zara's pregnancy progressed. They spent time together, talking and planning for their baby. One evening, they sat under the star, dreaming about names and hope for their child. Kwame felt grateful for the journey they have taken. Zara smiled softly. "I can't wait to meet our little one. We have been strong, Kwame." Kwame nodded, realizing that facing his past has helped him become a better person. The bond with Aisha was now just a memory, and he was free to love Zara fully. Finally, the day arrived. Zara went into labor, and Kwame was both excited and nervous. They rushed to the hospital, where the staff helped them through the process. After a few hours filled with anticipation, they heard the beautiful cry of their baby. Kwame held his child, tears of joy streaming down his face. "Welcome to the world," he whispered. Zara looked at him, her eyes filled with love. They had built a life together, stronger than ever. Kwame realized that letting go of his past had made room for a wonderful future with Zara and his new family. Thank you so much for watching this video. If you enjoyed this story, please do make sure to like this video and subscribe. You can also leave your thoughts in the comment section. Thank you once again. I am going to see you guys in my next video. Peace.